everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Investors Podcast by Africa Prudential PLC. My name is Cynthia Umonu, your host for today. On our previous episodes, we've been talking about unclaimed dividends, how you can claim your dividends as a shareholder, why dividends remain unclaimed, why do they go missing. But on this episode, we're looking at a totally different topic. We're talking about our financials at Africa Prudential. Our result for half year one compared to half year in 2024. We have the Chief Financial Officer at Africa Prudential, TAOFIK GIWA, who is going to be driving this conversation with us. Welcome
Good
to.
afternoon,
Good
Cynthia.
afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good
Thank
to
you,
have you here again.
thank you for coming back here again the
Oh,
second time.
yes, this is your
This is
second
my
time
second
on
time
my
coming back here.
podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And
Right.
thank you for agreeing to, give us a deep dive analysis into the topic for today.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm always welcome. I'm always willing to come over. Anytime you call on me, I'll always come here to deliver.
Great stuff.
No.
Okay, so we recently published our results and we've seen the comparison of H1, the results for H1 2025 compared to 2024. We experienced a 1.75% increase, right? And we want to know what actually drove these numbers. What are those things that we did differently that made us achieve, these results?
All right. So I'll just do a quick recap of what we did. As at last year, 2024, mid-year, so that was after year 1, 2002, we did gross earnings of 2 billion. However, in this year, we have done 3.3 billion. When you now look at our net operating income, as of last year, we had 2 billion, this year, 3.3 billion. For our operating expense, on the other hand, as of last year, 895 million, but this year, 1.3 billion. For PBT, as of last year, we had done 1 billion. However, we had done 1.97 billion. That represents a 75% decrease.
That's
Which is
amazing.
remarkable, right?
That's amazing.
In terms of shareholders fund, as of last year, we are at 9 billion, but this year 11 billion. That's about a 15% increase. For earnings per shares, on the other hand, as of last year, 39 naira, but for this year, 34. That's a bit of drip. So now, just coming back to what led
to the
those
numbers, yeah.
So basically, we had that focus for this year that we're going to go into new line of businesses. So which we kickstarted this year,
Okay.
and I'll call them the e-product business.
Okay.
We commercialized our e-products.
What are the businesses?
The Inven and the Greenpo.
Inven
Right?
is the mobile application.
Absolutely. So we commercialized it, and it started kicking up, bringing up revenues and all of that.
Okay.
Then also we have the PRS business, or the probate service business, which we also went into full time. So that that rubbed off so much in this year compared to last year.
Okay, so that's an amazing result to have achieved in the first half, especially considering that the corporate actions for the year happens in the first half.
Okay.
And from your total PBT, it should be 5.2 billion naira.
Absolutely.
For the full year.
Absolutely.
So we've achieved less than half. So how do we meet up with the entire total budget?
All right, we have a strategy. We have a strategy to keep on working on what we are doing, and also our investments. You're right. We are looking at how to expand our investments, and also play in markets where we have good rates and good returns on those investments. So much so that we'll be able to cover up for the 5 billion we are looking at. We're on track. We know by the special grace of God, we're going to achieve that number.
Okay, so 1.98 billion. What does this result say to current investors, even potential investors? And how does it draw them to the market, to come invest?
All right, so basically, don't look at it in isolation. That 1.98 billion, if you look at the periodic budget itself, which is about 2 billion, that's a 98%. So
achieved.
Yes, periodic budget. When I mean periodic, I mean January to June budgets and January to June actual. That's 98% achieved. Okay. So if we follow that trajectory, we're optimistic that by the end of the year, we will surpass the 5 billion target that we set for ourselves. And we are telling the investors that we are very hopeful. We are not working. We are not sitting down on our house. We are working assiduously. We are reinventing our wheels. We are doing more to see that at the end of the day, the investors smile to the bank and also have a good return on their investment.
Oh, great.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. It's a good plan.
Yes.
It's a good plan.
That's the plan.
Okay, so do you foresee any risk for this second half of the year? Are there associated risks that could come up to hinder your achievement for the other part of the
All right.
5.2 billion?
Every business owner anticipate risk one way or the other.
Right.
So absent any government macroeconomic pronouncement that could absolutely shock the system in itself, we don't foresee any major risks. The major risk we could be looking at is probably a macroeconomic pronouncement by the government that can send shock into the entire macroeconomic
Market.
space. Outside that, we don't foresee any risk. You
Okay,
understand?
none from regulators.
No, we don't foresee any risk.
Oh,
We
that's great.
already set up plans in motion in our strategic meetings to see how we can edge against any kind of risk that can stop us from achieving our target. And hopefully, by the special grace of God, we are going to achieve this target.
So you talked about risk.
Yeah.
So you said you don't foresee any risk, right? So it's a good one. I said it's just risk from government bans,
So what I'm
or
saying is what I try to say is that absent any major government pronouncement, perhaps maybe a government pronouncement similar to, the exchange rate convergence and also
market
the
regulations.
fuel, what they call it, the subsidy removals at that
Okay.
time. When the government made such a pronouncement, it sent shockwave all over the country, and the economic space. There was a lot of uncertainty, so that threw a lot of balance off many business projections. Absent this kind of pronouncement by the government, I don't think there's anything to be scared
No
about
risk at all,
at all. We
apart
don't
from
we
that
don't
one.
we don't foresee any
Great.
major risk.
I mean, it's an amazing one. If apart from that, there's no other risk to disrupt your
No,
other
we
plan
don't
for
we
the
don't
year.
foresee any major risk.
Okay,
So
that's a good one. Okay, so what's your last word to investors, employees, or stakeholders for the second half of the year? What's your word for that?
all right, for I want to tell our investors, our stakeholders that we are robustly optimistic, that there's positivity, we can see positivity, and we know that we are working on track to see that we close the year handsomely and robustly. We're not just looking at stopping at 5.2 billion. If it's possible to stop at 6 billion, we have that in mind, and
Right.
our
I
team
mean, that's
members are not sitting down idle.
that's
We
the
have
energy.
vibrant, robust, fantastic team,
Mhm.
from our sales team to our business development team and all the
Other
back end team
stakeholders, yeah.
that are working day and night to see that we achieve this target, and we know by the grace of God we'll get there.
Yeah,
So
and we're being hopeful that we not
absolutely,
just meet our budgets, we surpass,
that's what I'm saying. The
what was
budget
set.
is 5.2 billion. We're looking at 6 billion this time
Right.
around.
That's
We
the
feel we
energy.
can do 6 billion. That's it.
That's
That's
the
it.
energy. I mean, it's a good one. Thank you so much
You're welcome, Cynthia.
for giving us this deep dive analysis on our numbers, how we arrived at it, and how far we are willing to go
You're
to
welcome, Cynthia.
surpass our set budget for the
You're
year.
welcome,
Thank you
Cynthia.
so much, Chief Financial Officer of Africa Prudential,
Thanks for having me,
TAOFIK GIWA.
Cynthia. Thanks for having me,
It's so
Cynthia.
good that when I call on you, you always answer. Thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome. I
me
look
today.
forward to come back again
All
next
right.
time.
We'll definitely have you maybe in the second half so that we can talk about the numbers again, how we
You're,
have
you're,
surpassed
you're
or
welcome.
we have hit 6 billion there. Thank you so much for
And Cynthia
coming.
will laugh hope,
Oh,
right?
yes.
I'm sure you have some shares in
Everybody will love
African
home.
Prudential.
Oh, yes, I do.
Everybody should come and buy African Prudential shares. Oh. There's a lot to
Right.
gain.
You heard him. Come on, buy shares. Africa Prudential. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us on this episode. We would come back next time with another interesting topic to discuss. So do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and drop your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us. Till we see you again. Bye.
Bye.